And shifting focus to the war in Ukraine, the United States has formally accused Russia of using chemical weapons as a method of warfare against Ukraine. The U.S. Department of State has also imposed new sanctions on Russian firms and government entities. Now, Washington's move aligns with testimonies from Ukrainian troops who claim to have encountered irritant chemicals while fighting Russian forces.
Substances designed to disperse demonstrations are used against our troops. These are substances that have certain effects on our soldiers, namely irritating the mucous membrane of the eyes and causing vomiting and dizziness. And that's why soldiers started addressing medical forces in order to get assistance.
Now, Washington says Russia has allegedly used the chemical agent Chloropicrin and tear gas as Ukrainian forces, which violates the Chemical Weapons Convention. Chloropicrin is known to irritate the lungs, eyes, and skin and can cause shortness of breath, nausea, and diarrhea. The chemical agent was widely used in World War I, but is no longer authorized for military use. Back in April, Ukraine's armed forces said they recorded more than 1,400 incidents where Russia allegedly used toxic chemicals that are banned for warfare.
We began to see an increase of cases in quite serious and tangible quantities. And I will tell you that today we have recorded more than 1,400 instances of the use of chemical substances. In majority of cases, these are UAV dropping on the contact line where personnel are in positions. But we recorded 2/3 of the total 1,400 in the last 6 months. That is, the usage has increased over the past 6 months and is increasing every month.
Now, Russia has repeatedly denied using chemical weapons. And in its latest statement, the Kremlin has called the accusations completely baseless and unsubstantiated.
We have seen the news about it. As usual, these announcements are groundless. Russia was and remains committed to its obligations in respect of international law in the sphere mentioned.
In fact, earlier, Russia also denied allegations that its army had stockpiles of chemical weapons, but the U.S. government believes otherwise. Amid the back and forth on allegations of chemical weapons usage, new sanctions have been announced as part of a wider effort against companies and individuals for their support of Russia's war in Ukraine. These firms and figures are from multiple countries, including China, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Belgium, and the United Arab Emirates. Now, regarding the rules of engagement, this is not the first time that Washington has warned Russia against the use of chemical weapons. A month after Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine in 2022, President Biden said that NATO would in fact respond if Moscow used chemical weapons in Ukraine. Just last April, foreign ministers of the NATO member nations said Russia would be met with severe consequences for using chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons. And now the world waits to see how, and even if, NATO responds to Putin's blatant violations. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.